Hello everyone, welcome to my second video. I'll be honest, I've been feeling a little bit down recently. Just the stress of work, of having to meet incredible number of deadlines and do a million different things at once, which is so hard for people with ADHD. And sometimes I've been feeling like a bit of a failure. I wish I didn't have this. I wish I could just do the things that other people seem to be able to do so easily. Um, and I know that lots of other people who have neurodivergence, whether it's autism or ADHD or anything else, often feel the same way. So I want to talk about something that comforts me or has comforted me when I get to that point when I'm overstressed, overtired, and feeling a bit useless, really. And that's to think about what neurodivergent people have given to the world. And if I'm honest, we can say that neurodivergent people have given almost everything to the world, and that's both autistic people and people with ADHD, because our brains are different. And above all, we're creative. We see where there is room for change, and we fight for that change. We actually ask for it. That often gets us into trouble with neurotypical people who kind of want to do things done the same way that they always have been. But we ask for change and we try and create it wherever we are. And in the history of the world, that desire for change, that ability to see things differently, has shaped the world like perhaps nothing else in our history. And that applies to both autistic people, people with ADHD, and people who have both. And we can think about this in terms of both science and in terms of art. So it's well known that a lot of the traits of autism, the ability to focus intensely, the ability to be interested in particular things, often a very high IQ, and the ability to stick to a project even if nobody else agrees with it, have changed the world in the scientific field to such a tremendous extent. I mean, many thinkers, we can think about people like Albert Einstein, for example, uh, in the philosophical field, people like Immanuel Kant, Isaac Newton, who taught us about gravity, and so many other brilliant scientists. I don't want to say the majority, I don't have the statistics, but from my personal experience, I think it very much could be. Uh, a majority of our greatest scientists have had some traits of autism. The people who brought us forward in every way in the world, given us the ability to fly, given us the ability to understand gravity, given us the fundamentals of atomic science, and the ability to go into space, right? The people who teach us the most about AI, the way forward, often these people have traits of autism. Their focus and their own kind of creativity have taken the world forward, making it look so much different to how it would otherwise look. Not to leave those of us with ADHD behind in this. Often people sometimes say, oh, well, ADHD people, they don't do anything. They just kind of have ideas. They never put them down. They never change anything. They never create anything. I would say it's the opposite in many ways. And this is when we think about the greatest artists, the people who've given us beauty throughout our history. So many of those, and we go back in the past and we don't have the evidence, perhaps, except for descriptions. But so many of our greatest musicians, writers, poets have shown what would be, I think, today very clear signs of ADHD. If we think about Percy Shelley, for example, the poet, described as restless, dramatic, sometimes hyper-focused, feeling the deepest of emotions, both the positive and negative emotions. Lord Byron, his friend, often described the same way. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, of course, who is perhaps the greatest pianist and the greatest musical genius, many people would say, described in much the same way. He was able to just conjure magic in intense bursts of creativity. He would sometimes lose focus if he wasn't interested in something. And many of the most modern people, Ozzy Osbourne, a genius, ADHD, and so many other people who have given the world its beauty, have ADHD. And I have no idea of the statistics, but it's certainly way above the population level prevalence of ADHD. So, neurodivergent people, our tribe, when we think about it, the world does actually need us. It needs us to provide science, to get the next inventions, to take us into space, to take us further into space, to give us the ability to see the stars more clearly, and to give us our finest and deepest emotions through poetry, through art, and through all the other beautiful things in the world. So sometimes I know you guys are all feeling it, but sometimes I understand, I think about this and say, the world needs our creativity. It needs our difference. It needs the way we see things. It's difficult, but we give so much. The way our minds work allow us to give the world and each other so much. So today I'm feeling pretty down, but that's a thought I'm saying. Hang in there because we've given so much. We continue to give so much. So yeah, I hope that is a cheerful message today for anyone who's feeling a bit like I am.